Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today, I have a subscriber interview, a subscriber who has shared his terrifying experiences with the walking wolves in Taylor, Mississippi. Well, he is now working for the Department of Natural Resources in Maryland, and he has seen a couple strange things that he'd like to share with us tonight. I have Luke with us. Before we get into that interview, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch, displayed directly under this video. Also, Dogman, Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons. Narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click the like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help, and it does matter. And now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with today's upload, shall we? Like I said, very excited. Luke reached out to me, I think yesterday, 2 days ago, and we were finally able to connect. So I'm very excited to welcome Luke back to the channel. All right, everybody. Tonight I have a special guest, a guest that I have not spoken to in a couple of months. Luke, how are you, my friend?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Hello, everybody.
I'm glad to hear your voice. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. You're back at work. How's work going?
Boring. Extremely boring.
Now,
A lot of paperwork.
yeah, because you're in the office now. You're not out in the field anymore, or are you?
No, not yet. I haven't got cleared yet, so it's going to get reevaluated soon to see if I'll be let back in the field. I'm excited and I'm not at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, you know what's out there, so that's kind of something to hold you back a little bit, too. Now, you had reached out to me today saying that you had seen something. I guess I'll just give you the mic and let you share what you saw and what your conclusion of everything was.
Yeah, I was on my way to work the other day, and as I was driving on, what was that? I think it was Route 450, one of those. I was about maybe give or take 15 minutes on the road, and I happened to look over to my right. I see something dash past the passenger side and cross in front of my car as I was going around the bend, doing like about 25, 30 miles an hour to take the bend, the corner and stuff like that. So when I took a quick glimpse at it, I thought it was just a regular like human being on, I don't know, on drugs or something like that. So I had paused for a second to see if I could still see the person. So once the person, or whatever the hell it was, got past my vehicle, it dropped down on all fours and took off in the brush. So on my way to work, that left me baffled. I was thinking about it all day. So when I did get home, which was last night, I caught one of your videos, and so happened like what you was talking about. I think it was either one of those feral people or crawlers. Like the description of it seemed similar to what I thought I possibly saw. So I figured that I'd give you a call. Like, yo, I just seen the strangest stuff.
Yeah. What was it?
Here we are.
Did it look naked, or did it, how?
It was naked. It was naked, pale skin. The eyes, like for a human, the eyes wasn't where it should be.
Okay.
It was like, it was almost like a lot lower, like the face was scrunched in.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
At least from the side profile that I was able to see.
So it was
but it was
bipedal.
extremely pale.
Was it
It was
bipedal when you?
bipedal. It was bipedal when it crossed when it came from the right side of my vehicle across to the left in the front, and once it got past my vehicle, it dropped on all fours and took off into the nearby brush.
Okay. Now, when it took off, how did it look like it
It
naturally?
looked natural.
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like it looked like it was naturally a quadruped.
Okay. Really quick. I mean, obviously, it was probably faster than it
Yeah,
was.
it was very quick.
Okay. Wow, that's
It was very quick. When it was running on, it looked uncomfortable running on 2 feet, on two legs.
okay.
Like it was almost like a struggle, but it could do it.
Right. Yeah.
So
Dense woods on both sides, or what kind of territory? What kind of area are we talking? Dense woods on both sides, or houses?
no, it's no no dense woods. If you go like it's it's woods, but it's not dense. After it's maybe a few hundred yards of woods, and then it's an open clearing on the other side.
Okay. Okay.
And then
So there's houses in the
a few
area.
miles down is then when you. I'm sorry.
So there's
I'm sorry.
houses. There's houses in the area as well, or
A few miles down, yes, you eventually run into structures like that.
okay. Okay. Um, that's crazy. Is there any like water sources, caves that you know of? I know that you're new to the area.
Yes. There's the area that it went, maybe about like half a mile in that direction. There's a lake or some sort. I know there's a water system over there.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's crazy. That is crazy. The
yeah, there is. As far as caves, there are a lot of caves in that area. When I was on the field, I never went into the caves though, but I saw quite a few cave systems. Maybe about a few months ago, I think I saw at least maybe four. And it was in like it formed like a triangle almost. From the cave systems were at least about, give or take, a few hundred yards apart.
okay.
So
Yeah, that's
I don't know what's in there. I don't know if it's a den for coyotes, black bears, walking wolves. And I learned my lesson for the last time I went up to a one of those cave-like systems, or a den, as you will. So
yeah,
I didn't want my scent anywhere near it if it could pick up my scent. So
most
but
definitely.
I did notice it from a good enough distance.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I like you and I were talking prior, and I really, now that I think about these crawlers and whatnot, they seem to, there's not a lot of encounters there. I mean, there's encounters with them, but there's not so much like Bigfoot or Dogman, and I don't think we hear about them attacking people, because I think if they do attack, I think they really put all their effort into the kill and take down, drag into a cave, and that person's never seen again. So I really think a lot of like in Virginia and
Yes,
stuff.
I do agree to that too. But there's a caveat to that as well. I actually read a lot of reports of people getting attacked by other people, but the people seem like abnormally strong, but they were able to get away from them. So for the ones that do not talk about it, that they pretty much probably are deceased. But for the ones that do talk about it, the law enforcement chalks it up to a crazy person.
Okay.
So like there's you like you can actually pull up the report really. You see there's a lot of people. Someone's like, oh, he's strong. He was like on meth or something.
Right.
I don't know how he was strong. It's like, so like I've read like a few cases, but I never tied it to crawlers or feral people. I just recently like started hearing that on your channel, and so which actually caused me to think back, like, yo, all these cases, could this be that this is what are attacking certain people? And just because if you think about it, if it's a feral person and they're wearing clothes, you're just gonna think that they're homeless and on drugs or have mental illness. You understand?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not gonna really take it as a Neanderthalic or some kind of wild animal.
Right.
But like the crawlers are something different.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
they're humanoid, but they don't look nothing human.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the feral people, I mean, I've had a couple of different cases, probably 7, 8 maybe, and the majority of the time they are wearing some sort of clothing, whether it be tattered or whatever. But I think when they attack somebody or rob a campsite, they take, I think they're scavengers, living in the woods. They've become adapted to the living out in the woods, very strong, because you'd have to be strong to live in the woods and hunt. You don't hear too often that they have weapons like guns or anything. They usually have like a stick or spear or some crap like that. So they're obviously very strong, and like you said, law enforcement would. It's a perfect kind of cover up. Either this person was drug addicted or on meth, because obviously people on meth, in the news you hear about how strong they are, or they may be mentally challenged, and a lot of handicapped people who are mentally challenged. I don't know if that's the politically correct word or not, but are very strong. I worked at a house ARC, and we had probably 10 mentally challenged, handicapped men there, and they were abnormally strong. So that's a perfect cover up for law enforcement. Hey, this guy was attacked by a person who escaped from an asylum, or a meth head. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. You'd said something.
Yeah.
You'd said something to me earlier about your friend or something, seeing something weird out in the woods, or he was on a motorcycle or something. You want to share that?
Yeah. So I overheard one of my friends talking to another guy and stuff, and he was on his way home from work. He takes this. He didn't. I didn't ask him the particular road, but I think I know the road that he's talking about. So he usually takes this road, like religiously for like about a year with no issues. Usually leaves work like around 7-ish, almost 8 o'clock. On this day, he left it a little later. He left work at 9 o'clock. So he was on his motorcycle. So he takes this road that he's been taking for like about months, or about a year now, and stuff like that. So he sees something coming from the brush. So at first he thought it was probably like a bears or whatever. So he didn't really think nothing of it. So out of his peripheral, he catch something like comes out the brush, and he said it looked like a bear that was chasing him. And he said it caught up to him. He was doing about like maybe 30 or 40 miles per hour on the road, and it was keeping pace with him for about at least a minute. And so he had to go up to like at least about, I think, 65, 70 for him to lose it. And then it ran back off in the brush. So I asked him a question: did it ever stand up? Or he was like, no, it was on all fours the whole time. So I can't chalk it up to any one of these walking wolves or a Bigfoot, or I can't say what it was.
Right.
But that's not a natural thing for an animal to do that.
Yeah,
So,
you wouldn't think a bear would just, dude on a motorcycle is coming down the road, would just come out of the woods and chase someone, on the road. That's very strange too,
yeah, and that's very highly unlikely. The only time that would ever happen, if a bear were to chase somebody on a bike or a motorcycle, is if it knows it has the clear advantage and if it's extremely hungry. So it'll try to parallel from hit it, try to T-bone it.
Yeah.
That's the only way. But he said it's coming from the back. But they don't. They are fast. Bears are extremely fast.
Yeah.
To get chased, they're not going to get chased for that period of time. So.
Yeah, they are quick, but that's very strange, you know. And like you said, you can't declare what it is because you just got to leave it at that. I don't know what it was. It was definitely a strange experience.
Yeah.
So you've had no experiences with any walking wolves, nothing of that. So that's good. Now the Bigfoot community.
The thing is, I'm starting to see a whole bunch of different. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, the Bigfoot area, or I was going to ask you, you know, what, because you had mentioned you had started seeing some things. So, what are you
I don't know
seeing?
if you remember a little while back. Remember I told you that I found a park to take the kids to,
Mm-hmm.
and not too far from my house. So as I personally went in the park because I don't want to go to a park and it's a dangerous park if you know what I mean. So I went to the park looking for like tell signs of any one of these walking wolves and things like that. I look for certain odors, airs, tree marking because they do mark their territory. You just need to know where to look. So I didn't find any of that in the area, but what I did find was cases of Bigfoots in the area. So what I did was I did leave the area because I'm in their territory and I don't have nothing to give. So what I decided to do, I used to like bring like a basket full of fruits, different kind of fruits, and I would just leave it in the area. And they would take it. So I actually was able to see like one of the Bigfoots. And I was thinking it was like that, maybe 6.5, 7 foot tall. It wasn't that big though, but I've seen it in the distance hiding behind a tree. So I've been doing this for like months. Just like every like couple of days I'll bring fruits. I'll leave it there and he'll take it. So remember that time I forgot where I was headed towards, but I got into an accident and my car had went over the side of the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually I think I was knocked out temporarily. So when I did come to, my car was back on the road. So
yeah. Didn't you see the Bigfoot prior or something?
I'm sorry.
Did
prior
you?
To my accident.
Yeah. It wasn't like because that's how you kind of put two and two
the area
together.
The area that I drive by.
Yep.
Like I drive. I drive by the park.
Okay.
So there won't be nothing for it to know or see my vehicle because I'm pretty sure it saw my vehicle and maybe it's around the time because I did drive by the area around the time I usually leave the baskets. I don't know if it was waiting for a basket and it happens to see me. I'm not sure 100% though. But from the vantage point of where it was at, it could see pretty much the main road and everything because it has a high vantage point. So I'm pretty sure it saw what happened or heard what happened because they have very, very good hearing. So they probably heard the crash and because they're curious creatures. They're getting to investigate and it's like, oh, it's probably the guy that gives me my food. No wonder why he ain't bringing me no food. He's over here sleeping. Let me wake him up.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, you know, when you shared that with me the first time, I was like, wow, that's really insane.
Yeah, so after that, you know, I had the incident with my dad, my kids, the whole freaking me just going AWOL. So
yeah.
And I haven't been over there in like months and stuff like that. So recently I went back to like start up the giving her the food thing. So I haven't really seen him yet, but I do know he's in the area on a trail cam.
Right.
Like, cause there's a specific area where I leave the basket all the time. I don't deviate from the area. So it wouldn't be that hard for me to put like a trail camera up.
Yeah, that would be very cool. I mean, pretty insane to think about actually getting a great video or photo of one of these creatures. It's you know, it's gonna happen. You know, so many people are out there now.
Yeah, you got to upload it really quick because the government's working around the clock to censor that. I don't know if you remember about a year or two back, I actually had video that I actually sent to you, but it
Yeah.
never reached you, and my freaking computer got hacked.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You're not the first person
And then my
to
wife,
say that,
and then my wife tried to send you the pictures as well too,
Yeah.
and for some reason the pictures would not go through, and then when you check my phone, all the pictures are gone.
Yeah, it was when you were in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yep. There was a guy that he had taken a photo of a Dogman on his phone, a couple of them. And he knew he had taken these photos, that he knew they existed on his phone. His buddy knew they existed on his phone. They get back to their vehicle, and, they had a pretty crazy run-in with a Dogman, and they were, jacked up on adrenaline, but they get to their vehicle, and in his head, he's like, at least I have these couple of pictures. He knew he had taken them. His buddy knew he had taken them. They open the phone, and they're gone. Just gone. And the only really logical explanation for that is the government knows, somehow they know, and they deleted those pictures off of his phone before he could even have time to do anything with them.
I could tell you what happened, or at least what I think happened, because just based off, like, the government knows about these creatures. Some of them are being tracked. Some of them got chips in them.
Yeah.
So pretty much what my theory is, at least knowing from the technology that the government and at least law enforcement has, they probably was tracking this, one of these walking wolves, and it came across these people. And the way how it works is, you know how GPS works. They can ping anything in the area. So their cell phones probably came up in the area next to these things. So they was able to get quick access to the phones and cause it to. I forget what they call it though, but they was able to access their phones because they saw them on their radar.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you're tracking something, it shows up. There's a beacon that shows up, but they can also pick up other signals, cell phone signals, wireless signals, Wi-Fi, whatever kind of signals, and they know what signal goes to what. So, this is a cell phone signal, or it's like within 100 yards from there. Oh, okay. So they probably saw that at one point they was within the same distance of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, you know what, y'all? Whether they saw it or not, y'all, let's wipe their phone.
Yeah.
To be on the safe side.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The technology that Big Brother has nowadays and what they can do.
They had these technologies for years.
Yeah. I mean, Victor talking about with his dad, they were chipping them in the 60s and 70s, these aren't new this is not a new technology. Definitely not. Now, with work, I don't want to get you in trouble, so don't talk about anything that you can't, and if I put you on the spot, just say you can't talk about it or not or whatever. So you're in the office now, and have you heard any kind of mention of any of these creatures? Is there kind of, like, if a person goes missing or anything, has there kind of been any just a low talk about these things, or no?
There's just certain areas where they go to talk about certain things, like in passing. The only thing that I know about is, like, the increased numbers of missing people. Like, it actually went up this year as far as missing people. As far as, like, what is connected to, I haven't heard any talks about that. So I'm pretty sure some of the higher ups within my division know who I am, so I think they watch what they say around me.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure though, um, but I do know that there are missing peoples and there are like unexplained disappearances, but they're not chalking it up to anything. There are animal attacks, but they're going with freaking coyotes and black bears or whatever. So, like, I forget. There's a certain code that they use,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's like at least because there's a different. Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize, and police will tell you this or lie to you till you they blue in the face. Though there's a division within law enforcement that deals with cryptids. So if you're a lower ranking officer, it's pretty much you don't know about it. But once you reach a certain level, and then you'll know about it. Or if you happen to have an encounter, and then it goes one or two ways. They'll bring you into it to see if you can handle it, or they'll tell you to forget about it. You didn't see that. So,
Yeah.
but there are like division in it that talks about it. Um, prior to my my accident, they was talking about I think there was a large. They said their quote was a large number of animals were heading down this way. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But.
Well, there's a guy.
Take that however you want.
There was a state trooper that reached out to me in Pennsylvania, and he had said the same thing. You know, he's like, he doesn't think that all law enforcement agencies have kind of someone that deals with these things, but he thinks that the bigger ones, you know, like he was a Pennsylvania state trooper, so he's like, obviously they have their kind of little team within the state troopers that deals with cryptid reports. And you know, he said that when he had seen a Dogman prior to him even getting back to the station where he was out of, he was met, you know, he was called and told to be, you know, at a certain location. His supervisor was there, and two of these kind of agents that work within the department, you know, and told him to just keep his mouth shut about it or write it up as a bear. And you know, it's pretty intense to think about that. You know, we don't really think that these, you know, people, and it's kind of strange that we believe that these creatures exist, but we find it hard to believe that our governments, whether it be local, state, and federal, have a contingency plan to deal with these things. You know, it's not that far-fetched, you know. If you know, just because they don't acknowledge that they exist. Yeah. Just because they don't acknowledge that they exist doesn't mean they don't know they exist. Yeah. It's pretty funny how people just only view something one way. How, you know, we're the ones that believe in these. The law enforcement can't have something that deals with these. Well, why wouldn't they? So it's pretty interesting. Now, you're going to be probably, well, winter's coming, fall, winter. So you'll probably be going out in the field in spring and summer.
Yeah.
You're not looking forward to it, or are you?
It's a mix of emotions. I'm actually looking forward to getting out there.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to having to run in with anything.
Yeah.
Runs faster than me. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, definitely not. You know, that Goatman experience that you had was probably one of the. I mean, your Walking Wolf experiences are just horrendous. I cannot imagine. You know, especially the one that was in your home when your wife and kids were out while you were living in Taylor, Mississippi.
Yeah, I had that feeling.
You know, and your dad.
I had that feeling.
Yeah.
That feeling was so strong. Like, yo, I need to send my family away. I need to.
Yeah.
Because, yo, I just kept thinking, like, what if they was here? Because when you come up my stairs, the first room you see are my kids' room. It would have got to my kids before it ever reached my room.
Yeah.
So, and they sleep with their door open. So I'm just so grateful that, like, God told me to send your kids away, send your family away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I never thought that it would get so bold for it to come into my house, come into my room.
Yeah.
And like, it was teasing me because, I was asleep. I knew that I could sense, the amount of fear and danger that I felt. I mean, it was the amount of pressure. It's like just having a crane sit on your chest, but you're still alive. That's the amount of pressure that the fear caused. Like, yo, this thing is right here, and the thing it was teasing me, man.
Yeah.
Because it wanted to, it could have been killed me.
Yeah, very easily.
But that's where it messed up.
While you were asleep, it could have, very easily taken you out. Yeah, so I mean, you've had these experiences, but like that Goatman experience that you shared with us a while back, while you were on, while you were training, there's been numerous Goatman experiences and encounters and sightings, this, and that, all throughout Maryland. Maryland is known for Goatman. And did you get that same kind of feeling when you were around that creature?
Oh, that creature was. I got the feeling that creature was pure evil. That thing wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing to it. I was in its territory, and it chased me out of there. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, if I tripped or anything like that, I would have been done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I also had to, because I did fire my weapon. I had a freaking I fired my weapon, and I told you because you have to file a report when you discharge your weapon and stuff like that. So
yeah. Yeah.
I ended up having to do that. So I had to make up some bullshit because I didn't want them to think I was crazy, and then they got it to my attention. Like, for me to get the job, I am qualified, but I did pass the date on certain things that somebody wanted me to go to that branch, and I possibly got set up. But
yeah,
they were shocked when I came back.
With that, you had mentioned you felt that thing was pure evil. The only other time that I heard you kind of really have that kind of feeling or that kind of, description was that pitch black Dogman that drove you out of Taylor. Yeah, that drove you out of Taylor, Mississippi. What was the feeling about the same, or was the feeling worse with which?
Nowhere close. To tell you the truth, I'll deal with another Goatman than I would ever deal with that thing, Because the difference between that and the Goatman, I looked in its eyes, and it has human intelligence.
Yeah.
It has. I got the feeling that it's been around for a very long time, and then because it's able. I don't know what the situation is with it, where the hell it is right now. It's able to control a large amount of them walking wolves, a large amount. And for something to be able to do that, the intelligence has to be on a whole higher level. Mm-hmm. And the way it orchestrates, it's insane, man. It's insane. Like, there was nothing I could do to it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, you got bigger gun. I was going to need a bigger gun.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what I had on me. And I had some pretty.
You had some heat with you that day.
Sized weapons.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said you had some heat with you that day, actually.
Yeah.
Especially that.
Yeah, I wasn't going
when your wife was broke down. That experience was just.
I don't remember what I took, but I took one of my biggest guns there.
Yeah.
And then, it set a trap. It was my thing is, I believe it was watching my wife on her way to work, and then because you remember the situation that I've been through, because I end up killing one of their own. And so I'm thinking the one that I killed was part of the pack. So
Right. Right.
it's watching my wife. It oh man, Whew.
Yeah.
That call, that call. And then I'm like, and I was still injured, man. I didn't even fully recover.
No.
I was still injured, and I'm like, and I'm going, I'm taking I don't remember which one I took, but I took the most powerful caliber that I had, and I looked at like, yo, like, this is not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
It's just gonna piss it off. I'm
Speaking
like, yo,
of,
this thing was bad.
yeah, and I'm glad that you got away from, I as much as as Taylor, Mississippi, the property in Taylor, Mississippi was in your family for 5 generations, including your kids. I'm glad that your family is safe. Speaking of people recovering, how's your dad doing? How is he? Is he?
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's up and mobile. He actually said that he's ready to do the interview. So
All
I'm
right.
actually gonna talk to him and see what's gonna be a good time for him.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime.
So,
I'm ready whenever he is. I think it'd be good to have you there with him. That way you can help him navigate, and if he does get upset or whatever with feelings or whatever. I'm glad that he's doing better
yeah.
though. Does he have any kind of PTSD from that experience or
No,
no?
he doesn't.
No.
You gotta think about it. He's been he deals with it in his own way,
Yeah.
but he's not new to these creatures at all. He's been seeing these creatures for years.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy that
Since he's
saved you while
young.
he was in his underwear on a four-wheeler with his, So I mean, but yeah, I know you got out of work just a little while ago, and I appreciate you coming and talking to me and sharing these experiences with us about this crawler thing. Um, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to talk to you privately after. So don't hang up. Do me a favor, if you do hear anything about these crawlers, or if you hear anything about kind of packs or whatever families of feral people living in these woods, because I think they're I don't know why, but they tend to be in national parks and state parks, and Maryland's got a lot of those. You wouldn't think it does, but it does.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, it has a whole lot.
yeah, yeah. Keep me in the loop if you could, and I'd really appreciate it. And don't hang up. I want
I
to talk to
definitely
you.
will.
Is there anything that you'd like to say before we end this?
Thank you everybody for all your well wishes and prayers. I do appreciate that. Your prayers have reached us. My family is doing pretty great. I couldn't ask for anything better. With anything else, y'all don't have to believe my story. Only thing I ask is if y'all go out at night in the woods, go for a walk, even in daytime, just keep your head on the swivel and just make sure you carry some kind of form of protection. And if you listen to music, try to have one in and one out so you can know what's going on around you. Because cryptids are not the only things you need to worry about in this world. So, stay blessed, everybody. Love you guys.
All right. Thanks, Luke. It was good talking to you. All right, guys. Wow. It is always nice to have Luke on, and I am looking forward to having his dad come on the show. That is going to be an amazing interview. I really hope that Luke will be there with him as well. Now, for those of you who do not know, go back in the videos and look for Taylor, Mississippi subscriber. That's where Luke grew up. 5 generations of his family grew up in Taylor, Mississippi, lived in Taylor, Mississippi, dealt with the walking wolves or Dogman. Luke also had a friend that he called Big Red, a orange-haired Sasquatch that saved his life from these walking wolves. He's lived a very interesting life, and it's always awesome to hear from him. And I'm hoping that eventually he'll get out of the woods and just have a normal bit of a life. I don't want anything bad to happen to him because he's been a really good friend and I really like him. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's upload. With that, my friends, please, everyone stay safe. May the Great Spirit watch over us all and may He guide us down that path that, well, we call life.